I think we are live. Hello, everybody. Let me pull up
Hello.
my thing here. Hold on.
Yeah, we are. We do appear to be live.
That's good. Something worked. That's awesome.
Hold
Hello,
on.
everyone.
Hello, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. Thank you for joining. For those of you who have joined, my name is Brandon. This is the Logical Consistency channel. I have my fellow and friendly vegans with me, Patrick from Foolproof Mastery and Vegan Postmortem. We
Sup?
are excited. We are excited to just hang out, have a fun time. Would any of you like to say anything?
Everybody, sorry for the delay. I have to apologize.
What delay?
We are novices in this cruel world called YouTube. So,
There was a delay? I thought we were right on time. All right, cool. Okay, I got the chat open.
We're
All
just
right.
streaming on the Logical Consistency channel today, for the people wondering.
What do you mean? How would they wonder? It says it right there.
Well, someone asked,
Oh,
just streaming on one channel today, the real thing.
yeah. Well, I got everybody used to us streaming to several channels. So the wondering is correct.
We're very spontaneous today. We don't really have a plan. We were hoping that some of you would help us out, friends.
We got some people in the chat already. We got Chip, Vegan Power Lab. What's up, Chip? We got a friendo who's creating awesome profile pictures apparently, so that's cool.
Pig's Dream.
Chip,
What's up,
thank
Pig's
you.
Dream? What's up, a friendo? Hey, Chip. How you doing? Hey, Vegan Brian, animal activist.
Hey, Vegan Brian.
Hello, everybody.
The real thing is in here as well. Awesome. Ooh, immediately being tipped.
Thank you. Wow, Veghead. I appreciate that. That's awesome. We appreciate all the support, of course. Guys, if you have any questions, this is kind of like a chill session. Maybe get to know us, ask any questions, put any if you have any reaction requests, please put it in the chat. This is going to be a chat heavy live. So yeah, don't hesitate. Hello, Martin.
What's up, Martin? Kevin, what's up?
Right. Hello, Martin.
We have a bit of a plan, right? We have we couldn't part from our poop master Anthony Chafee for too long, so Patrick provided some evidence for his claims last stream, right, Patrick?
What do you mean exactly? I'm not.
Oh, you claimed he does stupid shit on Twitter, so there we go.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
showing the stupid shit on Twitter.
Yeah. Oh, yes. So at the start of the screen, last stream, I said that Anthony Chafee gives out advice for money through regular lives, and so in my view, it's a little bit irresponsible. And as a backup plan, this was what we would react to if none of you friends have anything for us to react to.
And we could while we're waiting, I mean, we could always start with, I mean, I'm curious to know the horrible, probably unethical practices that Anthony Chafee is partaking in. Just to answer Chip, no, I am not unboxing the boxes yet. That's going to be for a special, maybe when I have if I ever get to 5K subscribers or something, I'll open up the boxes.
I think that's it. We set that in stone there.
Yes, we gotta get him to 5K now. There's no choice.
Get me to 5K, I will open up whatever you'd like.
And it'll just be empty, maybe.
No, there's something in there. There's actually a lot of stuff in there. It's just not that exciting.
Hey, don't say that it's not exciting, Brendan. Do you want to get to 5K?
Look, I think me saying it's not exciting is like making it a little more exciting because people don't believe me. They're like, well, there's 3 boxes stacked on top of each other. There's got to be something good in there.
You just have to work hard to reveal the mystery of Brendan's boxes.
Yes, it's hard work.
Yeah.
So I believe the first timestamp we have here is with Anthony Chafee reacting to someone who donated quite a bit of money with asking for advice regarding his wife who has Crohn's disease.
Yeah. So, guys in the chat, let us know if you can hear.
We're built, and so we're purpose built to eat meat, and
so he's just finishing up his previous answer with some appeal to nature shit.
We get harmed from eating plants. It's pretty much that simple.
Very good.
RB, thank you very much for the very generous super chat. That's very kind of you. Hello, Dr. Chafee. My wife, who has Crohn's disease, started carnivore about 3 weeks ago. She is gaining weight and very concerned. She only eats beef, eggs, fatty pork, and coffee, nothing else. What can be the reason for her weight going up? Well, it's, as I was talking about earlier in this talk, talking about the metabolism, when you're starving yourself and chronically under eating, you actually slow your metabolism down. And then all of a sudden you get real food in your body. Goes, oh, thank goodness. Like, okay, we're going to hang on to this. You can also put on muscle, bone, things like that. 3 weeks, you will, sort of tighten up the muscles, but, it could be that she actually is putting on fat. There are metabolic reasons for this and hormonal reasons for this. There are some people that put on weight early on or even ongoing for about 6 months or more in some cases. And this is largely hormonal. So, you can check things out. You can sort of see how her thyroid's doing. Check her leptin and her fasting insulin. These sorts of things are good indicators of her metabolism. And is her metabolism in a depressed state or in an active state? The higher the insulin is, the lower her metabolism is. The higher her leptin is, the lower her metabolism is. And the more difficult it is going to be to lose weight, even on a carnivore diet.
I'll add that no mention of the potential for it just be a caloric imbalance. So are they eating more, calories than they are using up? So are they in a caloric surplus? No mention of that.
Well, why would he mention that? He's a calorie denier. He claims that he ate 5 times more calories when he went on a carnivore diet, and yet lost weight.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like a lot of calorie denial. It also seems like, well, I was going to say, I feel like the correct response would be thanks for the donation. Please consult a doctor. Like, please consult your primary care physician or something, like something along the lines of, I'm not going to take your money and just give you medical advice on the internet, But he didn't do that. He just gave the advice.
But very generous donation. What was that? $50,
$50,
right?
yeah.
Wow. That's quite a bit, right?
If you donate $50 to this stream right now, I will give you any advice on any topic. Anything you want, I will tell you.
Like, I've never been to the US. Like, what can $50 buy you, for example?
Pretty much a good laptop, probably, right? Or bad laptop, like.
No. I mean, it's pretty expensive. I mean, for $50, it's not
my
like
microphone is $50.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess for $50, I mean, you could get. I don't know. How do I explain it to you guys? I don't know, like $50.
A nice meal?
Yeah, you could get like a meal for two. Like that's like going out with your girlfriend, for dinner. You can get or boyfriend. You can get a I don't know. You could get. I don't know. 50. It's just too many things. I can't think of one thing because there's too many things. But it's not a lot. Like it's not like hundreds of dollars. But for one tip to give advice about somebody's Crohn's disease that they shouldn't be giving advice on, I mean that's very good. I can only imagine if that's just from one person. I can only imagine how much money he's doing this. Honestly, so somebody commented and said that that we could like never debate Chafee or whatever. And I honestly, I would tell him to his face, like, hey man, I think you're a grifter. Like, I think that you make so much money doing this, and you know that what you're saying doesn't make any sense, but you continue to do it because of the money. And I just want to see how he would react, like just being told that to his face, because no one's ever said that to him, I don't think.
I think Jack Higgs, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He debated Chafee, and he did bring up or say something like along the lines of you're a pseudoscientist.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think we just got to cut right through the foolery here and just tell them to their face, you know.
Yeah.
But by strange, we could never debate. I don't know. So this was a commentator who said this. We could never debate.
Yeah, he said you literally could never debate Chafee or Sean Baker, and I replied and I said I literally could debate Chafee, and I would love to anytime. That's what I said.
Yeah, I don't know what the never is doing there. Does he mean such as like it's physically impossible or?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he meant maybe
Yeah.
we're out of our league or something.
It is
Yeah,
unclear.
if they reached out to us, I'll definitely be up for it.
Oh, I know you would, Patrick. Oh my God, you'd eat that up. I mean, yeah, somebody like Sean Baker. Honestly, I'm more honestly after doing the Sean Baker videos, I'm more interested in Chafee because, or Chaffee, however you pronounce his name, because Sean Baker, he honestly seems like exhausted. Like he seems really worn down by like all of the mental gymnastics he's going through, and he's pretty honest that like, hey guys, I don't have any science. Everything I'm
I'm
doing is
just
for
for
entertainment. You know,
yeah, I'm
like
just
he's
for
kind of
entertainment.
yeah, he's kind of whatever. But Chafee, he's still in like, no guys, this is real, proper human diet. Plants are trying to kill you, so that's who I'd be interested in.
He did agree, actually, or concede in the debate with Dr. Nagra that a lot of it is for such a little bit hyperbolic. So,
I mean, the dude contradicted himself 3 times in the last debate with a novice debater, basically, the militant vegan, who learned NTT like 3 hours before the debate, basically. She did an amazing job, right? That's how much Sean Baker is a gibberish generator. And he knows it. That's why he touts now on his social media the militant vegan being, emotional, whatever he calls it, right? While she's spanking the fuck out of him, and his entire population just swallow it whole. People actually claim that he didn't lose the debate.
yeah, if someone makes a contradiction in a debate, like if that's not automatic automatic loss, like I'm just shocked. Like
Yeah, I think people who like, I don't think Sean Baker or Chafee, they understand the purpose of a debate. Like, I think they think it's just to like have a conversation, and that like however it ends up is fine. The purpose of a debate is to actually push each other to like defend your position. And
Yeah.
if you can't defend your position without contradictions and um, essentially like lies, then why are you even? Then your whole position is wrong, right? Your whole position is you're essentially just speaking gibberish. So I don't think they understand that. Like I think they think like, oh, haha, is this some troll, you know? But I don't think they really understand what the implication of that is.
yeah, when Sean Baker was on the Joe Rogan podcast, Joe was sort of saying, during the debate against Nutrivore and James Aspie, you were sort of smiling, you had a little smile on during the debate. Like, if that's sort of your criteria like for being a good debater, smiling during a debate, there's not much to say really. So
Yeah, you can smile and have this nice appeasing manner, right? When you debate, and you can still be full of shit. I don't understand, but his followers swallow it whole. Like he presented to them the poop, and they swallow the poop. And I don't know. Maybe it's looking at Chafee's beautiful face that makes me talk about poop a lot. Shall
Yeah,
we
I don't know.
continue? No?
But
Yeah.
yeah, just before we go on, I feel that there was a period in time where these people sort of were very convincing to the public. So I'm really grateful for the pushback from the scientific community and just sort of exposing them.
I think they still do.
Yeah, I think we definitely need not just vegans, but just regular regular nutritionists, omnivores, people who maybe aren't ethically vegan but still understand nutrition. I think pushback from them would also help us in a way. You know, it might
Well,
not
there is
help.
some. There is some from Dr. Nadolsky, from Mohammed Allo.
Dr. Ids.
Has
Yeah.
Dr. Mike done anything on the carnivore diet or had anybody on yet? I don't
He
think
had
so.
he had Dr. Well, he had another charlatan who's not really who sort of demonizes lectins and beans. As I understand,
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with him, but Dr. Gundry.
Let me just take a look at the chat here. Let's see.
Yeah, that's what we're here for, aren't we? Guys,
Vegan
your chat.
Brian. Yeah, Vegan Brian asks, do you think the meat industry sponsors Dr. Chafee? If he was a real doctor, he would know what a healthy bloodstream is the key to health. I don't know, like, I don't think the idea of like an industry sponsoring somebody, I don't think that's how it works. I think he makes money off of people who want to continue eating these foods. Maybe, I don't know if he is sponsored by any supplement companies. I don't know if he does supplements, but I don't think he needs to be sponsored. Like, I think he makes enough money just by taking advantage of, you know, people who have more conspiratorial thinking or people who have lost hope and are looking for any help that they think they can get. Which again, it's hard to know if he is fully in the delusion himself or if he is knowingly taking advantage of people. You know, I would say the second is worse than the first, but it's hard to know.
Yeah, I prefer to avoid speculation. We have no evidence for him being supported. When the evidence presents itself, then we can look at that. Yeah. Any other questions?
No, nothing yet. Guys,
really.
Yeah, please post any questions you have for us related to this, unrelated. We're just here to hang out, nothing too planned. We got a couple reaction stuff about Mr. Chafee here, but post any questions you have, anything you want us to react to. Please send the link.
Brendan, maybe you can put you can put my email in the chat if somebody wants to send us a reaction.
Sure.
Because they can't post links in the chat, so you know.
Yeah, don't post a link in the chat. If you want to send something in the chat, post the title of the video. But otherwise, I could post your email here. Hold on. Send links for reaction to, what's your email?
postmortem.vegan@gmail.com. And I should open my email.
So postmortem.vegan@gmail.com.
Yep. That was supposed to be my channel name, Postmortem Vegan. But then it became Vegan Postmortem.
Somebody commented, hold on. Somebody commented, Bible Dumb Podcast said, Brandon, did you watch Sky's reaction to Dogs 52? Yes, I did. It was the okay, so the first one, not the other ones, but the first video that he reacted to with the two teams, I was dying. I was laughing out loud. Tears were rolling down my face. It was the funniest thing I've seen in a very long time. Because his whole reaction is exactly how I felt, like in the moment or like watching it back. And I've just never had somebody perfectly articulate what I was feeling in like the crudest way possible. That was hilarious. Yeah. Me and my fiance, we both watched it. We were dying. Did you guys watch that by chance?
No.
I highly recommend. It was like a few weeks ago. I did an activism video with these two teens. It's like the first video of that like 3-video series of like back-to-back activism. And Sky from Vegan, of course, he does this after dark live stream where he just like talks shit about things about non-vegans or whatever. And he reacted to that video and it was the funniest thing I've seen in a very long time. Yeah, it was like my stomach hurt by the end of it. I was laughing so hard.
What does dogs 52 mean?
So, so in the I don't want to spoil it, but in the video, so I'm talking to these two teens, right? And then in the middle of me talking to these two teens, I have this couple who comes in, who I posted next the week after. But this old couple, they started interrupting. This guy started spewing a bunch of nonsense, and then there's this kid who comes in like towards the end of the video, and he's got like a baseball jersey. It's only got the top two buttons right? So his belly button's hanging out and everything. And on the jersey it says dogs 52. It like has like dogs on it. I don't dude. And he comes in and he immediately, as soon as he comes in frame, he starts scratching his nuts. Like in the camera. Oh my god. This guy was, and I also did activism with him. This guy was a character, man. So yeah, that's where dogs 52 comes from.
Our first reaction proposal came in. Would you like to finish with Chafee here, Patrick, or move on?
Let's see what people want.
All right. So give me a sec. Yeah. Somebody who's an English speaker or native English speaker is going to have to read this shit because I read slowly.
Couple who wear real fur claim they have higher morals than vegans. Ooh. All
Sounds
right,
interesting.
All right. Fur clothes made from animals like raccoon, fox, and chinchilla is not something usually associated with sustainability.
Okay, sustainability and morality straight away are separate topics.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
Cannibalism might be environmentally friendly, but it might not necessarily be ethical.
I say that all the time. Like, if we just mowed down like half the population, that would definitely be more sustainable. But nobody would accept that because it's immoral.
Yeah, I tell that to researchers at work. The most practical thing would be to take a young person and do the experiments on them the way you do experiments on rats.
Yeah, like right here it says, but one fur-loving couple claimed the real stuff is actually more moral and sustainable than being a vegan. Again, so like sustainable, I mean maybe, but moral, I mean if we're talking about skinning animals for their fur, I don't see how that could possibly be more moral than not doing that. Unless the alternative is like skinning humans or something. But even then, I would say, name the trait.
But even on the sustainability, I highly, highly doubt it. If leather is processed the same way that fur is, the answer is no.
Yeah, that's a good point. That would require some evidence. So Judy Caldwell, 41, and partner Lucas Glubik, 36, from Northern Ireland, share an equal passion and love for everything real fur, and say their collection makes them feel classy and elegant. So there's nothing that screams moral like classy and elegant. I'm sure those two always go hand in hand, right? Yeah, look at them. They're just
classy as well. Look at that.
They might as well be Mother Teresa. Look at them.
Jesus Christ. And those leather fucking gloves. Leather is terrible for the environment.
You know,
it uses 20% of our drinkable water of globally. Jesus Christ.
I always love the argument. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but I always love the argument when like somebody in the comment will say, well, the carnivore diet makes me feel good, so therefore I'm a better person than I would be otherwise. I always love that because it's like, dude, what are you talking about? So like somebody who murders because they're like feeling better about themselves is now like a better person because of it. Like, what do you? And that it is such a stupid argument. This
Tone.
Sorry, what?
Hello.
I said hello to Tone.
Oh, hello, Tone. Yeah, sorry. Thank you. I gotta watch the chat too. This includes interesting garments made out of all sorts of animals, including mink, raccoon, fox, moleskin, and even a chinchilla. Come on, man. Like, even from like just a heart, like chinchillas are the cutest animals ever. You're gonna skin chinchillas alive? Like
And imagine
just
how many chinchillas you have to skin for like this much fur.
for like a full coat. Yeah, it's like 20 chinchillas. Like, what is wrong with you guys? But with this controversy comes a lot of hate from vegans online who often send the couple death threats and question the morals and sustainability of real fur clothing. I mean, that's fair. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a fan of death threats, but I am a fan of questioning the morals and sustainability. You know, I'm calling BS on that for sure.
Yep.
Hold on. Judy said nowadays there was a lot of greenwashing and a big emphasis on veganism and vegetarianism. Okay, well, I don't think that's. I thought greenwashing is when you're putting labels on things that don't actually make a difference, but you're finding a loophole for it. I don't think greenwashing is promoting things that are actually more sustainable. So I don't know about that.
Well, it depends. What is more, even like, right? If you are, well, it's a question, right? I think they're talking about the fact that, plastic faux levers are now touted out as vegan leather. There is some kind of a reasonable claim that would be, at least, if leather wasn't fucking horrific for the environment. And in this case, when they call it vegan leather, I think people still think it means that it's more sustainable. That veganism is about the environment and not fucking skin of an animal, right?
Yeah, no, that's fair enough for sure.
But I'm saying that's what they're talking about,
Right,
because
right,
that's
right.
what the world is talking about right now. That's what Blue Sky is obsessed about. Vegan leather is polyurethane. Okay, thank you. We know
Right,
it's
right, right.
still more sustainable than fucking leather,
Um,
and it's not the actual skin of a fucking animal.
right, right. Yeah, I would say that's probably the biggest reason why you should not purchase real leather or fur or anything like that.
Yeah.
We are trying to promote sustainable fashion by wearing fur, but people are quick to jump online and judge us. Okay. The hate we receive from a lot of vegans online is appalling, and I've even had messages of someone who was threatening to slit mine and my dog's throat because we're fur. Hold on, hold on. Whoa, 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 whoa. No, no, no. I know. Here's how that was
I call
worded.
bullshit.
Yeah,
I call
yeah.
bullshit.
What was worded is, oh, how would you like to be treated? It was probably worded in a way that's like, how would you like to be treated like the animals that you wear their fur of, or something like that, you know? Because like on the
And
street,
would you wear your dog's fur?
right? Like on the street, I'll ask. I'll be like, okay, if I were to slit your throat, would you, like I'll ask like that. That's not a death threat, right? That's me asking a hypothetical question to see how they would feel about it. So it's very different. Now, it is possible that they did get somebody who was like, "I'll slit your throat," but just vegans, if it is like an ethical vegan, we don't talk like that. So
Yep.
vegans typically don't word things like that.
Fucking look at that. How many animals died for this full body leather shit? Oh, fur, same thing.
I mean, that's a
And the leather
big
was,
coat. That's like a big fur. It's not like a little fur trim, which doesn't make a difference, but that's like I mean, we're talking like tens of animals.
I think
And
more. I think hundreds.
It depends on the animal, I guess. Jesus.
and yeah, the caption underneath doesn't really make sense. The couple say their fashion choice is more sustainable than veganism.
Veganism, like as a whole? Like
Yeah.
Because that includes everything, right? So I don't even know what that means.
Oh, here we go.
I mean-
She's trying to appeal to emotion here. I wear this to honor my granny, who was a bit of a fashionista. Oh, come on. Really? You're gonna pull out the granny? Oh, I wear the fur of dead animals because my
Appeal to
granny would have
sort of
loved
an
it.
appeal. Yeah, sort of an appeal to culture, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or
She was
tradition.
the type of lady who wore stilettos to match her jacket and fur jacket on top, and I always thought she looked so classy. These vegans like to attack us, but they don't think about where their soya comes from or what sacrifices had to be made to get it. They're just pulling out the crop deaths.
It's only a fucking job. No, we haven't thought about it. It's only our fucking ethical position. It's not like we care about it, right? Enough to check. It's not like we're inundated with that shit day in, day out on all of our social media, in our DMs. Not at all. Sorry.
No, no problem. The problem is, again, they're not actually saying. I maybe this article will get to it, but all they've said so far is, "Oh, vegans are wrong. Vegans are wrong. Vegans are wrong," and they're like, because I said vegans are wrong. Like they're not actually providing any any like evidence or any even argument or anything. They're just saying we're wrong.
Vegans are wrong because vegans are wrong.
Right, right. Some people. Oh, hold on. So Luke has added, there is an idea out there that it is unusual for a man to wear fur, but I like it. I mean, you can wear whatever you want. It's not about man or woman. It's just about, dead animal or not,
You skipped this part.
Oh, sorry. The garments we wear are more sustainable and are more respectable than these people. Wait, hold on. The garments we wear are more sustainable. Oh, and we are more respectable than these people because our message is never one of hatred. It is about spreading positivity and networking through fashion. Oh my dude. The argument that like, well, we're better than vegans because our message is positive. It's like, okay, would you say that to a murderer, a racist, a sexist, a homophobe? Like some people need to have an aggressive message delivered to them, right? It's not all about sunshine and rainbows all the time. And even if the message is aggressive, it's far less aggressive than skinning an animal. And a lot of times they skin them alive. Like this is some cruel shit, man.
Oh man.
Yeah,
One of
again,
those
no
images from
evidence.
Opinion that fucking haunts me. You know which one I mean. And
No.
I've
Sorry,
seen skin, the fox being skinned alive, and like the blood dripping off their.
Oh
fucking
yeah, that video.
eyes.
Yeah, no, I'll never forget that video. I've seen that too. Yeah.
Sorry, Patrick, you were about to say something.
No, I said what I wanted to say. It's okay.
Right.
Some people think we're trying to prove that we are of a higher class or show that we have money, but that's not true at all. We are just regular people. I mean, you're not trying. I mean, you're clearly playing some kind. Like you're clearly feeding into some kind of image. Like I understand you might be regular people, but they clearly want like some kind of prestigious look or some kind of
Yeah.
the
It's
public.
about this classy tramp.
Right,
basically.
right.
Sorry, Patrick.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, sorry.
The
I'm now paranoid that you're going to say something, and I'm interrupting you again. Damn it.
No.
The public debate on the subject is very biased, and the general argument against us is that fur is immoral. However, we remain and like to see both sides.
What is the other side?
Also, when you say biased, I mean, people love fur. People have been wearing fur and leather for hundreds of thousands of years. I mean, it's been forever. If anything, this is very new. It's not, I mean, it just so happens that nowadays the argument, people are like understanding the argument that, hey, maybe we shouldn't be skinning these animals alive for their fur. Like, like I don't know what she means by biased. It took a long time to get to this point of like people at least understanding the bare, like just a tip of the bare minimum, which is, oh yeah, maybe seeing a fox with blood pour, being skinned alive is like wrong. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm really hoping that when I scroll this page, there's gonna be an argument for why fur is actually moral.
Yeah, I don't think there is. Oh, they said was soya. They said, well, if you thought about soya, which again that's like a food that actually has nothing to do with like fashion or
Yeah.
anything. So I don't know why they even brought that
There
up.
is some implication that fur farming can actually be ethical. Oh.
No. They said fur farming can be and is ethical to a greater degree. There is a lot of scientific evidence to back this. Like, what do you mean scientific evidence to back that something is ethical? What are you talking about? What are they talking about? The alternative.
Human skin farming can be and is ethical.
Yeah. The alternative is the argument of fake fur, which is not even remotely similar. I mean, it is similar. Don't say that. Don't say things like that. It is very similar. They ship this from Bangladesh and China whilst pretending that it is the ethical choice, whereas we source ours locally and support smaller businesses.
So ethical.
If you had a local human fur farm, like Patrick mentioned, or a local human meat farm, that's not going to be more moral or ethical than shipping non-human fur or non-human meat to your home. Like what are we talking about?
But also, like it juxtaposes it to like the fake fur, whatever, right? First of all, it doesn't talk about animals, like at fucking all. The ethical problem is not the environmentalism, the mental degradation in this case. When you juxtapose it with veganism, the ethical argument should be for animals. And was an animal exploited and murdered in this case? Yes. So what the fuck are you talking about, right?
Yeah, it's hard because they are confusing. They're mixing like like a more like how we should be treating other individuals with what is more sustainable, and acting as if it's more sustainable, it's therefore moral, which is they're not the same thing. So yeah, I don't.
But also, my second point was, well, we can just dispense with both of them. Both real fur and fake fur are not needed. We have fleece, and fleece is made out of recycled plastic.
Yeah, or just cotton, or just like there's plenty of vegan compatible fabrics that you don't have to create all this fake fur, fake leather.
Yeah.
Also, regarding Bangladesh and China, they said, whilst pretending this is the ethical choice, they didn't provide an argument for why it's, not ethical, because it's
Right.
like it's the same. When people bring up clothing, they say they sort of assume that it's unethical when it's not clear that it's a rights violation, because potentially the people in Bangladesh and China, they would be in a worse off position if you didn't buy the product, although. For example, they need to support their families as well. So,
And
I mean,
also,
I don't find that convincing, right? If there is a problem somewhere in the world that the entire world is exploiting a certain section of people, I mean, we should do the right thing and like talk about it. And if there are changes that we can make into our consumption, we should do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the point that Patrick was making is like boycotting those, like obviously raising awareness. Boycotting doesn't really do much for those individuals. No.
They could be in the worst position.
True.
But I was also going to say I think what they're doing is they're implying to like what people's I don't want to say stereotypes, but just because something comes from China or Bangladesh doesn't necessarily mean it's slave labor. Like, yes, like are the labor laws there probably worse than in the US or in other first world countries? Probably. But just because you have goods coming out of those countries doesn't mean those people are slaves and are being abused. Like I feel like there's an assumption being made instead of providing actual evidence that like this fur company actually causes this, oppresses these workers or exploits these workers or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if someone could provide an argument that, I don't know, my T-shirt, somehow the consumption of it increased rights violations, then I probably wouldn't buy it. But no one really can provide this argument that overall it's not generating, an increase in utility for people working. Although we all advocate to improve working conditions and, the conditions of people working. But it's not clear that it's actually rights violations, because maybe people are working out of their own will.
I just want to read some of the chat here. Tone says, I see Brandon's boxes are multiplying. You think he force breeds them? Yeah, no, there's only consensual breeding in my household, Tone. So just so everyone's aware. Martin Kevin says, every day I get more sickened by non-vegans and their disgusting habits. Yeah, I can agree with that. I feel like I was kind of fine until I started doing street activism. And then street activism really, like, I was already not that social, but doing activism really made me a little antisocial for sure. It's hard to like create good relationships when you like see people at their worst,
Yeah.
Hold on.
That's probably the reason why, even if I one day, guys, I'm gonna start doing street activism, fucking stop me. Seriously. We don't need me on that.
It's really hard. I have a lot of patience for stuff like that, so I'm able to manage it, but it's not for everyone, especially if you already have a hard time with like I don't know, I don't want to say coexisting, but if you have a hard time like interacting with others. Vegan Power Lab says, speak for yourself, Brandon. I proudly wear my tofu around my neck.
No, vegan power lab. No, you don't. You don't want to see VPM doing street activism. Jesus Christ. Do you want to see me in jail? Seriously.
Bible Dumb Podcast says, I have shoes made from the skin of my edamame. I use every part to honor them.
Mm.
Let me see.
Are you reading down top to down or down to top?
Top to down. So I'm reading older to newer first.
I just read the what's pops up at the end. VPM has to do street activism without using the phrase "piece of shit." There you go. I can't. I refuse. I refuse.
Yeah, no. If you could, that's the thing. I feel like it's a win as long as you avoid calling them a piece of shit. But yeah, I don't know about postmortem over there. Let me see. Okay, all right. I think we're caught up. All right. All right. Let's go back to the article. Real fur lasts so much longer when it's cared for correctly, whereas fake fur is fast fashion. What do they think happens to all the plastic that is used to make it? The thing is, not necessarily like there are some really high quality like faux fur and faux leather. It doesn't have to last like it doesn't just fall apart after a couple days. You know what I mean? So I don't know what they mean by that. And also the number one pollutant in the ocean for plastic is fishing nets, if I remember correctly. So that's another non-vegan activity. So
We have I think maybe I don't know. We have another one. Do you want to continue reading this one? Is it?
No, I think we're done. Yeah,
No
Okay.
evidence provided or any argument that or anything.
Yeah,
that
if we could
resembles
just
an
scroll
argument.
down, is there anything about any actual claims or evidence or anything? No. Mm-mm.
Nope.
Yeah,
You
no.
just vegans are mean to me.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
literally all they said. All they said was we're better than vegans, and some vegans were mean to us. So buy our fur. That's pretty much what they said. So interesting article. It's just crazy how like BS like that is just floating around the internet and
The
reaching.
next one is the next one is from Bored Panda, so that's written by somebody. So I don't know if that's just entertainment. We're not gonna take anything seriously in this article, okay? So
Okay, let's see. And guy, yeah, maybe the articles are if you guys like the articles, that's fine. I was thinking more like videos, chat. So
yeah,
if you guys
so
have any video, it might be like easier so that way I'm not just here reading it all.
maybe
But
Patrick can read now.
Oh, I can go for it. So, vegan gets kicked out of a bar for wearing fur, starts questioning her morals.
wait.
Wearing-
Wait. The title is Vegan Gets Kicked Out of a Bar for Wearing Fur?
So it's not a vegan, is it?
I'm
Fuck.
already confused. Is this before they were vegan or something? All right, yeah, just go ahead.
Or maybe second-hand fur. Some vegans
or fake,
are okay with that.
potentially.
Huh? Sorry?
Or if it's like fake fur,
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah. So let's
So,
go.
wearing animal fur has long been a way for humans to keep warm in the winter.
Look at that
What is
ratio, though. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty. Yeah, no likes, right?
Well, there might have been some likes, but there are more dislikes. Yeah, let's go.
But nowadays, when there are so many alternatives at our fingertips and discussions about animal welfare are starting to enter the mainstream, the need for fur might have become outdated. Anything to add to that paragraph? Go up again. Let me process what I read a tiny bit. Okay.
Yeah, I mean the need for fur has become outdated. I mean there actually hasn't been a need for fur for a very long time, but I guess now that we are hopefully progressing as a species, yeah, it's and understanding the harm and the the rights violations.
Despite that, yeah, there's a lot of pushback, such as I want the real thing. I want the real thing.
I want the real thing. I want to feel the blood vessels on my skin.
But what about vintage and secondhand fur? Should that be seen the same way as a brand new mink coat? According to artist Alexandra Yvette, the two are not the same. Below you'll find a TikTok that Alexandra really recently shared detailing how she was denied entry to a bar because of her coat, as well as some of the responses viewers have shared online.
Is this a vegan bar? I'm confused. This is just like a regular bar, or is it like a vegan bar that didn't let them in?
No idea.
Just to touch on this, I don't know how you guys feel, but like I would say like buying secondhand clothing is different than directly contributing to the industry. But what I will say is most likely, like when you wear that coat, you are going to put some level of interest or demand in that product into the world. So obviously, like
Oh, okay, that's a big claim.
no, no,
Yeah.
no. Look. It's speculation. Like obviously, like I know what you're gonna pull out here, Patrick. Well, where's the empirics on that? You don't know. But the thing is, right? We can speculate, right? If you've got a badass jacket on, right? Let's say you've got a sick leather jacket on, right? And you bought that secondhand, right? It's 50 years old. It doesn't contribute to the industry, whatever, right? You buy that secondhand. When you wear that jacket, I mean, I would argue most likely people are going to see that jacket and probably want to wear something similar. And unfortunately, the reality is people are not going to be, at least in this day and age, right? With most of the world being not vegan at all, they're going to go, oh, let me Google cool leather jacket and just buy whatever, the real leather, the real stuff, without even wondering if it's secondhand or if that would be better or if they could find a vegan version. So that's the only thing that I would worry about. And I honestly have just no interest in wearing animal skin or animal fur. But if I did want to buy a cool leather jacket and like secondhand, for example, I would still be worried about that, right? I don't, it would bother me knowing that somebody would think this is cool and want to buy the same thing, but from an unethical or from an immoral place. Does that make sense?
It could go in the other direction where people might see you and think, oh, wow, like more people are wearing this sort of clothing. I want to be unique, or it's just, yeah.
Yeah, the
But
claim is pretty big, and I don't. So I actually have a bit of thought about that. So
Sure, go for it.
I think there is a difference between morality, practicality, and like almost like utilitarian calculator practicality as well. So morally, it's animal skin. It came from an animal that was, exploited and killed for it. So morally, like if you take morality, like as something in a vacuum, it's immoral and it's not vegan. Practically, I think you should look.
wait. I didn't get the point where you said it's not vegan in a vacuum.
Yeah, it's made out of an animal skin that was exploited and killed for it. So it's not vegan, is it?
Well,
Definitionally, kind of.
well, if you're sort of like generating a rights violation, then
Well, the rights violation happened, and that's the product of the rights violation. I actually recently changed my mind on this. I used to be of the thought that well, it's not going to generate new rights violations, probably, maybe, but it is a product of a rights violation, isn't it?
So what is the point you're trying to make? I'm not too sure.
The leather of fur is not vegan, even the second-hand one. Again, morally speaking, practically speaking, I add a bit more nuance. Is that okay? Or would you like me to question me on this a bit more? I'm okay with it. You can do it.
Well, if just semantically that's what you mean by vegan, something which at one point was derived from exploitation, or then based on your semantics, then that's not vegan. But many vegans, that's not what they semantically mean by vegan.
Well, what do they mean by vegan?
So like buying something or like generating a rights violation.
Well, that's practicality in it.
here's what I think about, right? So whenever I think about what would be moral in like the animal context, I always go with humans, right? Because for me, I do ascribe to, animal exploitation, or the exploitation of animals is not vegan, right? In any
Yeah.
form. But at the same time, what's it called? It's hard. Like, I also do think that animal rights is a logical extension of human rights. So for me, right, when we put it in the human context, let's say that 300 years ago, humans were skinned alive, right, for their to be turned into jackets, right?
Mhm.
And then today, in 2024, somebody wanted to purchase a $300, sorry, not a $300, 300-year-old human skin jacket, right?
Yeah.
Now that's real messed up. Okay, so that's really messed up. But is it immoral, right? Because when we're thinking about um, wood is purchasing that jacket that, and it's a little different with fur because the practice still exists, right?
Mm.
Hence why I'm concerned about people seeing my jacket and contributing to active leather farms or active leather producers. But in the context with the human leather, right? Let's say it didn't exist anymore. Are they actually violating somebody's rights? Are they actually exploiting um, actual like current sentient beings by wearing that human skin jacket? I would say no, right? I don't see how you can argue that they are. Now, that doesn't mean it's not messed up to me, right? I think it's repulsive. But if somebody has an interest in a vintage vegan leather, in a vintage human leather jacket, and they're not actually contributing to, like actively directly contributing to exploitation or um, that kind of practice towards humans now, I can't argue that what they're doing is immoral or wrong, right? It just comes down to preference, kind of at that point. Like, okay, you want to wear this jacket, that's kind of sick, but if you like it, you're not actively harming anyone currently, to each their own, I guess.
Well,
Um,
that's not the claim. My claim, though, my claim is not that I would be doing an immoral act. My claim would be the immoral act happened and it produced this jacket.
yeah, if your claim is
Yeah.
that the jacket was produced by something really immoral, then I would agree with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree. Just like I don't know, what's a good example? You could, like, people who collect Nazi memorabilia or something,
Yeah.
maybe, right? So like that comes out of something really, really awful that caused a lot of harm and rights violation. But people just really are obsessed with World War II or like to collect Nazi memorabilia. They're not a Nazi necessarily, or they're not contributing to what happened, but they still enjoy whatever they, again, not my cup of tea, but if somebody did like that, I can't argue that what they're doing is immoral necessarily currently. So I think
Well,
that's
the thing is that that's the thing, isn't it? The intent. If your intent is, if you are a Nazi and collecting memorabilia, Nazi memorabilia, then it becomes problematic. If you are not a Nazi and collecting it for some reason, weird, strange, what the fuck are you doing? But I don't know if there's a morality question. The question of morality would be, whom are you paying money for that Nazi memorabilia, wouldn't it?
right, right. So that's the thing, is like somebody buying a fur coat from like Goodwill or something, right?
Yeah,
Goodwill
yeah.
is like so if somebody's buying fur coat from Goodwill. I don't see, I put that in the same category as like the human skin jacket. The only difference and the symmetry breaker for me personally, why I think wearing a fur coat from Goodwill is still worse than wearing like a human skin jacket or something, is because the practice is still ongoing. So there are active fur farms. There is still, these animals are given no rights currently to protect them from that happening again, right? In the case of a human skin jacket, we have laws and protections that say, okay, humans can no longer be skinned alive. If you try and skin a human alive for their skin, you're going to jail for life, right? Whereas with animals, if you wear a fur coat outside, somebody can literally look at that and just go right online and order as many real fur coats as they want. So it gets tough. I don't know. Like, for me, it's a little too much on the line of like promoting and being more, like, it's just too much on the line for me.
So actually, my personal anecdote that I did get rid of all of my leather, but not because at the time I found any moral issue with it, is because I decided that it's too complex to explain to my parents, my friends, and all that shit for why I'm wearing leather. So, and I don't need it. I have other stuff, you know, that I pull off the street. I don't even pay for it. I just take stuff off the street. But about the thing that it kind of promotes commodification and all that stuff, maybe when the vegan world is about 20%, I think at this point, when 98% of vegans of the world is not vegan, you wearing a jacket, I don't think it would promote. I mean,
Oh, I actually
wearing
think the
leather
opposite.
is 98% acceptable. So I don't know how you wearing a leather jacket would, in a sea of people who wear a leather jacket, would in any fucking way promote leather jackets. You know
Well,
what I mean?
not necessarily like in terms of promote as in like increase the amount, but continue to normalize it. Like I actually think the opposite.
It's already normalized. It's 98% normalized.
Well, no.
What else can be added in there? You know
Yeah,
what I
what I
mean?
was gonna say is like if we had a vegan world, right, or at least a world where veganism or like animals were given rights legally, right? Um, I think that wearing a secondhand vegan leather jacket, or sorry, wearing a secondhand leather jacket would actually be would actually be better in that scenario because animals were already given right, just like in the human skin scenario, right? If humans were still being skinned alive, I think buying it secondhand or buying it new, like buying it secondhand, obviously you're not contributing to the industry, but it
Yeah.
is that line of like, okay, people are being skinned alive right now for stuff like this, and you're going out in public and wearing it. Whereas if we had a vegan world or a world where animals were given rights, when you wear a leather jacket, it's gonna be assumed that you purchased that before those animals were given rights because the industry doesn't exist anymore. You know, so I actually think it would be better to wear, like it would be more okay or more moral in my book to wear secondhand leather in a vegan world versus the world we live in right now. But I'm not sold on that. It's just speculation mostly. I don't at the end of the day, I don't think if you do have an old leather jacket and you wear it in public, you're not vegan or you're doing something wrong. I don't necessarily think that.
Well,
But
that's the thing. That's my problem with it, right? Because whenever this argument comes up, people are starting to lose their vegan cards left and right. And it's for a claim that I personally looked for some kind of scientific evidence on.
yeah, it
I
requires
couldn't find it.
empirics. Yeah, it's mostly speculation. So I just want to read the chat. I know this is an interesting topic for a lot of vegans, so I just want to see.
I'll just add that yeah, someone wrote. Let me check. Someone wrote. Deem starts reducing rights violations has nothing to do with veganism. I know in one of our streams we talked about this, where you said, Brandon, you would not kill, to create a vegan world, you would not sort of kill one person, whereas I would, right? Like,
Correct.
so
Yeah,
like,
I think when we had a discussion, I'm definitely more um like pure deontological, or
yeah,
I'm a more of a pure deontologist because I don't. For me, I could like I can't imagine violating the rights of even one individual intentionally, like premeditated murder, to prevent rights violations to everyone else. That yeah.
yeah. Whereas, like, for me, it's not about being pure. I would like be prepared to kill one person to save infinity number of people.
Yeah, no, I think there's definitely a difference of opinion there. Maybe one day, if the chat is interested or if people are
It's like
interested, we
like
can.
for me, it's just like it's like insane to think you like because for me it doesn't matter if I do it or someone else. You're saving an infinity number of people.
Yeah, for me it matters, man. I don't know, like, because I also think like, what if you're the person? You know,
Like like
what if you're the person?
if someone was about to kill me and they
I
told
would
me like
volunteer.
I would understand. Like obviously I don't want to die, but I
I
understand
also obviously don't want to die, but for this specific thing, I would volunteer. Patrick can kill me.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, because we're not talking about like, because in this scenario we're talking about like, let's say animal agriculture, right? Where we're talking about like an organized system of people who exploit animals. There's a potential for that to change, right? Now, depends on the hypothetical. Obviously, if the hypothetical is you either kill somebody or 70 billion trillion people are going to be tortured and die immediately, it gets harder to have a pure deontological position. But I still, for me, it's like somebody else doing the harm, somebody else harming others is not against, so somebody else contributing or like committing rights violations is not the same as me committing those rights violations, right? So like, yes, I don't want that other person to do it. I'm going to try and stop them. But if I can't, I'm not going to contribute. I'm not going to kill somebody. I'm not going to go against my own morals just to prevent them from committing something that I think is immoral, if that makes sense.
That is the staunch deontologist, like Kantian kind of deontologist. Wow.
Yeah, because again, like there's a difference. Because when we're talking about morals, like, do I think it would be like virtuous to sacrifice yourself? That's one thing, right? I might sacrifice myself if all of my loved ones and everyone in the world was about to be chopped up into pieces or something. But that's different than me killing an innocent individual just to save 10,000 other innocent individuals. And I asked Patrick last time, how small does, because if we're talking about threshold deontology, right?
Like I think last time you said 500,000 to save 1 million.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I'll probably sign off on that.
You would sign off on that?
I'm not. No, I'm not signing
off.
Oh,
see, that's the thing, man. That's crazy. No. See, that's too close of a number.
Crazy. Don't morality shame.
Here. No shame. Look, no kink shaming here.
Like, because it's 500 people, 1,000 people which are going to die regardless of whether or not you do it.
Wait, why? We didn't say that. That wasn't part of
that. Because there's 1 million people who are going to die. So regardless of whether, like, if you don't kill the 500,000.
I see. You're saying, I see. You're saying no matter what, 500,000 people are going to die or going to be killed, let's say.
1 million.
Right, and you have the potential to save an extra 500,000. So no matter what choice, yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, but the thing is, okay, so it's like, imagine this. Imagine you have Batman and Joker, right? So Batman is trying to save people. Joker is actively trying to harm people. And Batman's given a choice. Batman is given a choice. Okay, you either the Joker is going to torment the entire city, or you have to strangle and kill 10 innocent people yourself. Batman, being the person who's like the morally good person, who's trying to help, who's trying to stop the bad, there's no way he's going to take that, right? And the thing is, I don't think it is moral to take that.
So in this hypothetical, the Joker will be torturing people, you said.
Well, he's torment. Yeah, you could whatever you could say, torture, kill, whatever scenario you want to do. It
that's
doesn't matter.
Important.
Let's say he's gonna blow up. He's gonna blow up like a hospital or something filled with like a few thousand people.
Yeah.
And so then, Batman can prevent that. All he has to do is kill 10 innocent individuals by slitting their throat or something.
Like for me, I think that's the moral thing to do. Because
how? Because it's 10 innocent. He's now the murderer.
So you're gonna let a whole hospital?
It's not about
letting.
Yeah. It's not about me letting. It's about like it's
for me, as I said, it doesn't matter who commits the action. Like it's not about being pure.
Yeah. So see, for me, I can't, because it's like now Batman is the murderer. So what is Batman gonna say to those 10 innocent individuals? Hey, I'm sorry. I have to murder you. I have to slit your throat to prevent 10,000 to prevent 5,000 other people from being murdered by someone else. Like, I just don't find that justified. I don't know.
Like,
if I can, please. I think there is a thing going on, because me and Brandon, I think, considering the antecedent of our action. Like, we're considering it from our motives, right? And Patrick is considering it from a place of consequences. Could it be?
Yeah, no.
Or so it's like in terms of rights violations. Yeah.
Yeah, to Patrick, and I don't want to mischaracterize
for
you.
rights violations. I'm just saying where in the action where you're considering, me and Brandon are considering it with the person who's about to act, and you're considering it with where the action is going to hit, the consequences.
I think if I had to put it, and I can kind of respect this position, but I just want to, Patrick, if I mischaracterize you or straw man, let me know. But it sounds like Patrick doesn't mind getting dirty. So like in Patrick's case, right, he doesn't mind getting dirty so long as there are less total rights violations happening. Is that accurate?
Like if in this hypothetical it was possible,
Yeah.
and to get to a vegan world, I had to do like kill one person, I would go towards a vegan world.
Yeah. See,
whereas you two won't, right?
Yeah.
I would. That would cross my threshold definitely. If I could kill myself, I would do that. That would be preferable.
Yeah.
Or if I have to violate the rights of one person to get to a vegan world, that is a good threshold for me, and I would dirty myself, and I would go to prison for it. That's fine.
That's the thing. Yeah, you guys are definitely. I mean, your thresholds sound a little different, depending on the scenario. But I think I'm way more of a like hard deontologist. Like maybe like I'm talking like beyond like we're talking one person to like I don't know the worst number
To
like
make
something
the world
unimaginable.
Vegan, dude. Billions, and every year.
Look, I mean, I get it. I really do. But I could look if somebody said, "Hey, I'm about to kill someone, and when I do, the whole world's gonna go vegan." I don't know if I would stop them. Right? I might just pretend that I didn't hear it and move on. But could I shoot somebody in the face to turn the whole world vegan? I don't know. Because again, I don't. Maybe if that person here would be the caveat. Maybe my threshold would be if that person right before I had to do it was like, F you and F the animals and I just love chicken. Then I might just be like, and then do it. But, if I didn't know, like if I had no knowledge of the person, if I couldn't see them, if I had to hit a button, I can't justify it. I don't know. I can't. I don't think that's, I don't think.
So you would be fine with gas chambers just operating for infinity.
It's not that I would be fine. It's that I don't think the ends would justify the means. Like I don't think, because that person could be me, right? So like if let's say somebody, because at the end of the day, morality is, essentially preference, right? Let's say somebody didn't really hated, I don't know, religion, right? And I'm not a fan of religion either, but let's say somebody really hated religion and they were given a choice. All of religion could be ended, but you have to hit this button and kill 5 random people, right? I don't want to be killed. I don't want to have my rights violated just because somebody wants to stop religion from existing, right? I don't think that's how we should fix I don't think that's how like moral issues should be solved. That's, but again, in a hypothetical that like obviously none of this is actually happening, but if it could happen, again, I'd have to think about it. I'd really have to like think about it if I was presented a choice, really flesh out where my threshold is. But
what about if it was not you, if it was someone else and you could decide for them?
Just you mean if someone else was given the choice?
Yeah.
So like I said, if somebody was given a gun and was told, okay, if you shoot 5 people, the whole world will go vegan, I don't know if I would stop them, is my point. Like, I don't know if I would necessarily stop someone from getting dirty. Like, Patrick, if you want to get dirty, buddy, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'll stop you. I'm staying out of the gutter myself. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I could handle it.
I'm not saying that any of us have the capabilities to unalive someone, but it's built into this hypothetical that you are capable of.
Yeah. Guys, it's all hypothetical. Nobody's doing anything. Good disclaimer, Patrick. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just like trying to tease out your values, whether you care about, like creating a vegan world, like how far you'll go. Or
so deontologists, threshold deontologists, and possibly consequentialists are walking into a bar, a vegan bar, apparently.
But we can't wear any secondhand fur because we'll be kicked out.
Who's the consequentialist?
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to. Maybe you, Patrick. I don't want to though.
Patrick's like, wait a second. Who's that guy?
Maybe not. Maybe not. That's
this is also a threshold deontological thing, because it's like saving infinity rights violations for one rights violation.
Yeah, your thresholds could just be different. Yeah,
Yeah,
your
yeah.
thresholds could just be different.
I'm sorry, I besmirched Patrick. I apologize. I can now die for a vegan world. You have permission to kill me for a vegan world? Let's do it.
Hold on. Ian
like-
Canida said Patrick is coming for Brandon. Dot, dot, dot.
No, like if someone was coming for me and said, I'm killing you right now, but it will create a vegan world, obviously I don't want to die, but I would understand it.
Okay, so hold on. There's a lot in this chat that I just want to get through because, see, it seems like there's some conflict here. Okay, hold on. Let me go back to the top. Okay.
Oh, don't go too high.
No, not too high.
It's been a lot. Hey, Ali. Hello, Ian.
Hello, Ali. Yes, hello, everybody who's joining.
Hello, Natalie. Hi, Bible.
Okay. Ali says, what does it mean to respect animals? I think, again, when we're talking about like respect and morality, being disrespectful to somebody is not necessarily doing something immoral, right? I could say, fuck you, and you might feel disrespected. That doesn't mean I actually harmed you or violated your rights, right? And I saw Deemstar say reducing rights violations has nothing to do with veganism. So, and there's been a lot of conflict, so I just want to share how I feel, and then maybe you guys, if you guys have something. The definition that people are using for veganism, which I do agree with, right? It's not exploiting it, it's rejecting the exploitation of animals, right? Period, right? It's rejecting the exploitation of animals. But when we're looking at it from like a practical, like a real world application of that, it's extending rights to animals, right? That's how that would get done, right? Is granting legal rights to animals, just like how we grant legal rights to humans. So rights are here to protect us from vulnerable situations, harmful situations, direct rights violations, all of those things. So in the animal context, my goal, what I want to see before I die, would be animals getting legal protections. Now, that doesn't mean that everyone is going to be vegan, right? Which is rejecting the exploitation of animals and not do things illegally, right? People harm humans illegally. People violate, exploit humans illegally. But animals should be given legal protections because they're sentient, because they have a will to live, all of the things we talk about. So I don't think that reducing rights violations has nothing to do with veganism. It definitely has something to do with veganism. It's definitely an important aspect of not exploiting animals, is granting them protection from that exploitation. And so when we say rights violations, I'll speak for myself. When I say rights violations, I'm saying that in the same context that humans have, like if animals were to be given legal rights, right? So if whatever is a rights violation to a human, I'm also granting that to animals. So that's when I say like, oh, they violate animals' rights. That's what I mean, right? Unlike the popular belief, I'm not using some utilitarian calculation. Okay, I'm not a plant-based utilitarian. I am simply talking about animals the same way I would talk about humans, right? Yeah. About when I say rights violation.
I agree. So a rights violation is something which I would deem illegal if it was in trait equalized humans.
Right. Exactly. Like something
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I actually think that there is a semantic thing going on that doesn't consider, well, maybe we should specify, maybe it's our fault. I think when somebody says reducing rights violation, the word reducing is creating some kind of a ripple. Oh my God, that's a word utilitarians use. But the thing is, this is not a utilitarian discussion.
Right, we're not reducing suffering or reducing like we're not trying to maximize well-being. What we're saying is we are reducing the number of instances that animals have their rights violated. Right?
And
so but that's a deontologic, that's deontological.
Yeah. And that's just an intermediary step. Because, well, the thing is, right, when, if I can, when utilitarians are talking about reducing suffering, they're saying, well, the situation of this person plus situation of this person plus situation of this person minus all of their suffering, right? That's the utilitarian calculator. That's not what we're doing. We're not looking at the population. We're looking at individuals. If I had right now a way to save one cow and take one cow out of farming, right, out of a farm, and put them into a sanctuary, that wouldn't be utilitarianism.
No, and that would be a reduction in rights violations. That would be you are preventing an individual from having their rights violated. So when we say a reduction in rights violations, we just mean on a mass scale, right? So if we talked about an individual cow, I think people would get it more. Like, I think if we talked about an individual, we'd say, oh, we want to prevent that individual from having their rights violated. That's not utilitarian. That's pure deontological. That's rules. That's laws. That's all of that. But when we say reduce, as in like on a mass scale, you know, for animals as a whole, I think people start thinking about like the classic maximize well-being, reduce suffering argument, which
that's why I think it's a semantic thing, right? We are not talking about taking a population of farmed cows and reducing their suffering a little bit, right? Making their life easier. No, we're talking about taking a few cows and eliminating their rights violations.
Right, because there are plenty of there are plenty of rights that what's it called? Sorry. There are plenty of rights granted to humans that don't involve suffering, right? So like if a woman is passed out in a car and you violate her bodily autonomy while she's passed out and she never remembers it, that's still illegal, and I would argue still immoral, right? So same thing with the animals. It's not about the amount of suffering, right? It's about granting them rights to protect them from harm and from having their legal rights violated. So in the same context, even if there was a context where you can violate animals' rights without causing them suffering, I would still be against that. So it has nothing to do with suffering. Like, yeah, sometimes in activism or in the conversation, talking about how much they suffer can be a powerful thing, because the way that animals are treated nowadays is horrific and cruel, and there is endless amounts of suffering built in to that. But that's not our goal. Like, the goal isn't just to stop suffering, because there's a lot more to it, to having rights and having individuality, I guess, or personhood.
But also, the most accepted definition of veganism is not the one of Leslie Cross that stops at exploiting animals. It's the one from the Vegan Society that says stop the exploitation of animals and cruelty to animals. So it does talk about cruelty. So when people talk about cruelty, they're not doing non-vegan things. They're talking within the definition, right?
And I'm honestly,
part of cruelty is killing somebody.
Right, and I'm fine.
It's part of exploitation to kill somebody. It's part of cruelty. Yeah.
And I'm fine with either definition. I honestly don't care. But to say that, like, because we also have to look at it from a legal sense. Like, yes, obviously, like, we would love it would be interesting to see a society that really like adopted purely from a philosophical standpoint, like the pure philosophy of not exploiting other individuals. That would be great. But when we say rights violations, we're putting it in a legal context. Like, how would animals' rights, how would the exploitation of animals be prevented in a world where people still want to do it, right? People still want to harm humans, right? Or violate humans' rights. So when we say rights violations, we're talking in a legal sense, because that's how it would get done, right? It would be put into law. It's not like people are all of a sudden going to wake up and no longer want to harm animals, or no longer want to violate animals' rights. So, Deemstars, I hope that makes sense, because I understand there's been a lot of muddying.
Just to be clear, when I talk about reducing rights violations, principally I'm not thinking about generating well-being or decreasing suffering. For example, if I had to sort of kill someone because I knew they would suffer later on in life, and it's like a net suffering overall, I wouldn't kill someone.
You're talking about legal rights. You're talking about rights that we grant to humans, but for trade equalized, animals or whatever.
And if somebody
Sentient
can
beings.
send me a good definition of moral rights, I would love that. That would be incredibly useful. So far, I couldn't find one, so I'm just ignoring it and going with the legal rights.
Hold on.
And
we continue reading this
I'll
shit?
also add that I've spoken with some vegans whose own goal is to only increase the number of vegans in the world, or the percentage or whatever, which is not my goals. My goals is to make animal exploitation, abuse illegal. So I've spoken with some vegans who are like, I would not want animal abuse illegalized if the population of vegans is decreasing, or something like this.
That's crazy. Yeah, see, that's crazy to me. Like, for me, like, same thing, I'll put it into the human context, right? Like, I don't care how many non-racists exist, as long as Black people or people of other races are protected under the law and are actually, it's illegal to harm them, right? Like, of course, it'd be great if 100% of the planet were not racist or not sexist or not homophobic. But at the end of the day, putting that into law is how those rights actually get protected. So that's, yeah.
And I would actually say both. I would say that the legalization or protection under the law is an intermediary
Will
step
ultimately
towards,
lead to, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I agree.
So both
Finally,
can
we
be,
agreed on something, huh,
yeah.
guys? Pig's Dream says, do animals get post-mortem rights? And see, that's an interesting, because there is a lot of talk about roadkill and a lot of talk, like we said, vintage leather or something, where, like, we do grant humans rights after they die, right? So, like, when a human dies, you can't eat them if they die of natural causes. We can't skin them.
I don't believe it's true, actually, Brendan. I'm sorry, I'm going to stop
Mm.
you there, but I don't think it's true. I don't think a dead person is granted right. I think a living person is granted right to decide what's
To, like, their
done
deceased loved
with
one.
their body. I
No,
think
but
the body doesn't have rights.
here's the
Like-
thing, though. If you found a dead homeless person who had no family and you wanted to, like, violate them, you can't do that. Like, you go to jail for. I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
Okay.
Although
Interesting.
I think for a deontological reason, I think for the person of doing the act, it's illegal. Not for the homeless person. The homeless person doesn't. The
Correct.
dead homeless person doesn't have rights.
No, but what I'm
The
saying is,
person has responsibilities and duties not to violate dead bodies.
no, but what I'm saying is, I think the reason why that and again, maybe it's not a matter of morals, maybe it's so abhorrent or so, like, repulsive that we made it like, really frowned upon or against the law. But, like, if somebody dies, right, a human dies, and let's say they have no family, so there's no family, there's no friends, they're completely isolated in the world. If somebody finds their body, they can't just chop them up and eat them, or they can't just violate their rights, or they can't violate their body, even though that person's already dead and no longer sentient. Now,
But the
we can
question
argue if
is
that's
it for the
actually
body
immoral or
or
not,
for
but
the person? Is it for the person who's doing the action, it's illegal? Or is it for the dead body, is illegal to be violated? That's what I'm asking. I think
What do you
it's
mean?
for the person to violate the body. I don't think the body has rights. I think the person
but then
has.
why would it be illegal for, like, why would, like, obviously the dead body's no longer sentient, right?
Yeah.
But why would I'm kind of confused with what you're asking. You're saying
Maybe there's some sort of law because it's just so abhorrent, or just to prevent these acts taking place. I don't know.
yeah,
if
or maybe it could
what the law is,
normalize,
but
like, really harmful behavior to humans. Like, maybe it's like a preventative measure, but,
I mean,
like,
then actual medical postmortem would be illegal, wouldn't it? Is what I'm saying.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
It's not done for the person, for the body. It's done for I don't know, for like some kind of a moral virtue in this case, I think, of the person, or maybe it's kind of the rights are granted retroactively to a human that used to be this body, but it's
That's
not
what I
like the
mean.
body
Yeah. I
itself
think
has rights.
I think it's part of the respect thing. I think it's less about, like, are you actively harming a sentient being, and more about, we respect humans, we respect sentient beings, so therefore we don't let people just use dead bodies however they want, right? And I think that if we want to be consistent, you know, like for me, I go back and forth. Like, I don't know if I care about what happens to my body when I die, or if I do. Like, personally, there's no reason for me to care. I'm dead, right? So there's no reason for me to care about what happens to my body. So therefore, I don't necessarily think that somebody doing whatever they want to me is a problem, other than my loved ones finding out or something like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think that allowing that, or like saying, okay, this is technically not immoral, I don't think it's going to create a precedent where people are treating human remains very bad, very, very, very weird. So,
Like
you know, I
Sorry, Patrick.
I personally like, my preference is that I think it would be good for like human like corpses and carcasses to be repurposed. Like,
no, but we're talking about using them for like pleasure, like taste pleasure or physical pleasure, if you know what I'm saying.
like like personally, I don't see anything morally wrong with it unless it somehow there's empirical evidence that it increases. Like, I'm not saying I find it disgusting.
Yeah,
but
you're repulsed by. Yeah, and I go back and forth on that position. I actually agree with. I kind of agree with you, Patrick. I don't know if I
like,
could.
yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
You go.
I was gonna say I don't know if I could confidently say that, like, whether somebody doesn't violate a dead body or does violate a dead body, like, is there more rights fight because the body's not sentient anymore? So it's hard to say. You know, maybe there's like trickle down effect with like family members or like society as a whole. But from that one instance in a vacuum, um, you can't really say that they violated, or they harmed or they exploited a sentient being, because that they're no longer sentient. It's a dead body. So yeah, I can kind of agree with that, but again, I think it's just so repulsive to where we kind of just have to like make it illegal. I don't know.
Yeah, the feelings are way too in a way there. It's almost impossible to. I'm like I really hate it, and I'm dying for somebody to give me a good argument for why an actual dead body in a vacuum would be wrong to do anything with. It's gross, it's disgusting. I wouldn't do it, but morally, I don't see how. From both, by the way, if I assume the consequentialist position, I don't, for a second, I don't see anything there either. So not from the ontologist position, not from consequentialist, maybe from Aristotle's virtue theory. Maybe there you have a problem morally, because you can't stay a good person for some reason because Aristotle was weird. Anyways, yeah.
But yeah, I'll just add that, yeah, funerals and stuff such as this is very resource intensive. So like, if there was no externalities, such as, for example, it somehow increased carnism or sexual exploitation, then I think it would be a good thing to sort of repurpose.
I'm actually super against. Yeah, I really don't like the caskets and all the. I actually make sense to just bury, or like put us in the ground. I would like to be buried if possible.
Yeah, I wasn't beef. I'm okay with being fed to a predator.
Patrick is like, he volunteers to be fed to like the what's it called, the like the bordered out predators in the future.
Or if there's like a carnist listening, yeah, we can sign a deal. You go vegan, but you can eat me after I die.
That's amazing. That's amazing, Patrick. I would say the only thing in a vacuum, I would sign off on your proposition, Patrick. I would say, like, if we add externalities in there, I think the people feeding other people to predators would be a hard job, I guess, because of our extensive emotions, which we should definitely not ignore and harbor, actually. I think people should feel more, not less. And we should consider our feelings more, not less. So
what is the argument you're trying to make?
I'm not trying to make an argument. I'm just saying that we should feel more, is all. I'm not trying to make an argument. I'm sorry.
So what does that mean? We should feel more.
Patrick is so used. Yeah, no, I think Patrick is so used to like debate that when you're like, hey, we should just like feel more, he's like, what is feeling? He's like, please tell me what that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I honestly, like I said, once I got into vegan activism, I don't know, like I feel like when I'm with my fiance and stuff, like I have feelings, but I don't know if I remember how to feel otherwise. You know, like it's hard, man. It's hard out here. You know, like I don't know. You get kind of cold. You get a little stone cold. Um,
Yeah, I got a little stone cold as well. It's actually on purpose. I am trying to suppress my feelings to do better vegan, whatever. I'm not really doing activism, but like twittering, I guess. I don't know. But sometimes it comes to a detriment when I don't know, like respond to something on my channel, and then vegans really hate it. But I'm okay with it. It's sometimes really hard. Feelings get hurt, and I appreciate feelings. So, yeah.
And this is what I'll say is like, guys, I think I would say everyone in the chat, I think from what I've seen and everybody here, we are all, I would hope, against the exploitation of animals. We don't contribute to the exploitation of animals, right? We don't eat animal flesh. We don't eat dairy and eggs. You don't pay for leather. We don't do any of this stuff, right? So when we're having these conversations, if you don't necessarily understand somebody's argument, or if you don't think somebody's making a good argument, or if you disagree, that's okay. Like, it's okay to disagree. We could, maybe we'll set up another stream if you want to debate, or, like, I feel like there's this thing where, like, if you disagree with another vegan, you automatically are like not vegan, or like, and I don't, like, it's okay to disagree. Now, of course, if you have somebody being like, oh, eating meat's okay, or if you have somebody that's like, yeah, I eat meat sometimes, that's a little different. But when we're all like essentially saying the same thing, just have slight variations with our views, just ask some clarifying questions, or like, it's okay to disagree on some things. So that's all I'll say.
So just on that point, do you have a deontological rule against meat? So including cultivated meat as well? Like, are you against that, or?
So I did a whole live stream on that. When it comes to
Patrick throwing shit in the fire.
Patrick's like, while we're on the topic, let's get everyone to hate you.
No, because he said meat. He said meat. It could be vegan meat.
True. Yeah. You know what I meant. Look, Patrick's still in debate mode. Patrick, feel with your heart, man. Feel with your heart, okay? But no, to answer your question, when it comes to lab-grown meat, I said in my live stream that I don't think lab-grown meat, if it does directly involve the exploitation of animals, is vegan, right? And I say vegan as in aligning with the vegan philosophy. Mm-hmm. But what I did say is I would speculate that the development of lab-grown meat is most likely going to be a beneficial and a huge step towards a vegan world. That's what I would speculate. Now, again, that would require some evidence. Oh, go ahead.
What about if it doesn't involve any exploitation of sentient beings?
If it doesn't involve any exploitation, like like it doesn't take biopsies or doesn't like involve breeding or anything, then I'm fine with it.
Would you count a painless biopsy as exploitation?
Yeah. I would count biopsy as exploitation, yeah.
So a painless biopsy.
Correct, because it's not about the suffering, right? It's about the right. Like, imagine if you rounded up a bunch of humans to take a chunk of their skin off just to create their flesh to eat. I would call that a rights violation. Now, it's a painless one, and like I said, maybe the ends justify the means in the long term. But for me, I wouldn't call it vegan. I wouldn't want to contribute to it.
Yeah,
so
same.
You go with your point, and then I'll ask a follow-up question.
Sure. And I was going to say for lab-grown meat that doesn't require any extra, because there are some methods like whether they use. I know that I've heard. I don't know. I haven't checked this, but you could get from like feathers or from like whatever, right? You can get things that essentially don't require animals to be bred or be rounded up or to have their bodies violated. If there is a way to cultivate lab-grown meat without direct animal exploitation, I put it in the same category as making plants look like a chicken patty, right? Because a lot of people say, well, you're normalizing eating animal flesh. Well, creating chicken patties out of plants, you're essentially doing the same thing. Yes, it's made out of plants instead of like cultivated animal cells, but it's no more a rights violation or exploitation than is plants turned into chicken patty, if that makes sense.
Patrick, continue asking, and then I'll add my own.
I was going to ask, for example, is it giving a vaccination to a baby exploitation in your views? And if not, like, what's the symmetry breaker?
Yeah, I think the symmetry breaker is when you're doing something strictly for the benefit of the other individual. It's not violating their rights, like with a child or with somebody mentally challenged or with an animal. But the whole purpose of lab-grown meat is solely for our own benefit. We don't need it. It's completely like there's no. Yes,
But, like,
maybe in the long term it will prevent animals from being exploited potentially, and that's a big if. That's a big if.
But not that animal. It
But
would
not that
violate
animal.
the rights of that animal. That individual is going to have their rights violated.
Correct, because you're thinking more future. And I would agree, like I said, I think speculating lab-grown flesh would probably be a huge step in granting animals legal rights or, ending animal agriculture. At least I would hope it is. But to contribute to the current animals having their rights violated for the long run, I don't think it's justified for me, based on my deontological position.
So how are you just defining like rights violation? Just the fact of.
I put it in the human context.
So in the human context, if we were living in a world in which humans were like engaged in cannibalism, and then there were like, you could like take a painless biopsy from some babies and make some meat, which could theoretically stop these human cannibals eating the babies, would you then say you're violating the rights of the babies to take?
Yeah, I mean, I would be against both. Like, I wouldn't want to contribute to either. So, like, for like, if it's not I have to contribute to one or the other. If I had to pick one, I would rather contribute to the lab-grown flesh, right? Obviously, the biopsy. But to be honest, those animals that are getting the biopsy, they're also going to be killed for I'm assuming for food or dairy and eggs, whatever. But if I had to pick one, obviously lab-grown flesh. Regardless, I would prefer that. But I don't have to pick one. I could choose to not contribute to either and just continue contributing to plants. Now, I would be for contributing to things that don't require plant exploitation, because I think the advancement of lab-grown flesh will put us in a better direction. But if it requires animal exploitation, yeah. I mean, if you think about that world, like, yes, okay, let's say not all humans, let's say a certain group, right? So let's say a certain group of humans are being rounded up and bred into existence and killed every single year for food, clothing, whatever, right? You have two alternatives, or you have an alternative, which is not contribute to those humans being rounded up, killed, exploited, whatever. And then somebody comes along and says, hey, we're developing lab-grown human flesh. And all we got to do is round up a bunch of those bred humans, snip off a chunk of their arm, and multiply that. And
it's not exactly like that. Just when you're giving them the babies vaccinations, with the vaccination, you also, yeah.
It is a rights violations because it's not medically necessary for the baby, and it is invasive. But biopsy is incredibly invasive.
In this case, you're creating a product to then stop the humans attacking the.
Look, I could deontologically say that that's my threshold, but that would be a tragedy for me. That would be a rights violation.
But also, yeah, I think you're thinking about like future rights violations, which I agree with you, Patrick. I think in the future, like if somebody developed lab-grown flesh, I think in the future it would probably prevent rights violations happening sooner, right? Or like prevent that from happening longer, I guess. But do I want to contribute to any rights violations at all? No. I would rather, if they develop it anyway, that's fine, but I don't feel the need to contribute to it. I'm just going to continue eating plants.
So then, what about if then it's the only way to get to a world without these human cannibals eating?
If it was the only way, we wouldn't have to talk about humans anymore. But yeah, if it was the only way, I'd have to really think about it. If it was the only way, I would probably if it's a painless biopsy, I'd probably sign off on it. If it's the only way, but obviously you'd have to provide evidence, like there'd have to be that context.
Is it built into the hypothetical?
Yeah. If it's built in the hypothetical, I have to say probably yes. But
But
yeah,
it still would be rights. It wouldn't negate the rights violation. It would
that's
still
true.
be a rights violation.
It's still a
That's
You
rights
would
true.
just
violation,
say,
but
I'm abandoning my ethics for this thing because I think it's, you know,
Well,
I'm abandoning my ethics and making a tragedy, right? So that's what threshold is, in my opinion, right? You're saying that if I don't do this terrible immoral action, something incredibly more terrible is going to happen. If I don't kill this one person, billions of animals are going to be continued to be bred and exploited and killed, right? But
just
it's
some
a
clarity.
tragedy that I have to kill somebody, and it's still a right.
well, you're not killing someone.
So yeah, that just some
But
clarity.
it's a right violation.
I
Still.
think my threshold is more based on the types of right violation versus the actual number, right? So I'll give you an example. If Batman could save 5,000 people from being blown up in the hospital by a Joker, and all he had to do was punch 10 people in the face, I would punch 10. I would, if I could save one person from being killed, I would punch 5,000 people in the face.
Oh, I wouldn't.
Well, the reason why I say that is because punching 5,000 people in the face, it's going to hurt, but they're going to recover. They'll be fine, right? They'll be okay. I could explain it to them, right? And ultimately, the one person being brutally killed, their life is like, I mean, I would say that killing, right, ending somebody's life is the ultimate. Like, I do think it is the worst rights violation, right? Maybe you could argue maybe like sexual assault or something like that, but I mean, I would say ending somebody's life is probably the worst rights violation for me. So when we're talking about like a threshold, would I kill one cow? Would I like slit the throat of a cow to save a million cows? Probably not.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
would I punch a cow in the leg to save a million cows? Absolutely. So if we're talking about a biopsy, I don't know how invasive the procedure is, but if we're talking like to a cow, let's say they feel like us getting a shot or us getting a piece of skin removed, if they feel a prick for about 5 minutes, however long the pain lasts, if that was the only way, again, this is in the context of there's no other alternative, I would still be against that if there was an alternative, right? Just like if I was Batman, if there was another way for me to stop the Joker, I would do that instead of punching 5,000 people in the face. But if it was the only way, built into the hypothetical, because Patrick's a little fucker over there, if it was the only way, my threshold, I'm okay with causing a little bit of pain that's only momentary to save a million cows, if that makes sense.
But it's still a rights violation.
It's still
right?
a rights violation, yes.
There you go.
Absolutely.
That cannot be disputed. A biopsy of
No.
an animal, not
Can't
for
be disputed.
their well-being, is a rights violation.
Correct. I agree.
For me, rights are there to protect individuals. So if you're taking, like, the fact of having a rights violation of taking a biopsy is there to prevent people effectively in society taking individuals, taking biopsies from them. So if it's in the case of you're taking a biopsy to potentially end carnism, for me it wouldn't be a tragedy.
No, not a tragedy, but you can't dispute that you're violating the rights of that individual animal. Yes.
It's in this specific situation, because in my world I've got it's illegal to just take people's samples and without their consent, I guess, right? So
this is actually that I can something I can contribute to, because it used to be my job to basically take human tissue. It still is sometimes, to take human tissue and give it to researchers to do research on, right? So the way the procedure goes is, in this case, right, nothing would be done to people extra. People who are going to have surgeries, we were asking for a piece of their tissue to contribute to research. Some of them said no for irrational reasons. Most of them said yes. In like And that's, by the way, how I see the only way, one of the only ways, of two maybe ways, that I see that lab meat can be vegan. If an animal is undergoing a surgery for their best interest to fix their problem.
And you just take a little snip, and you're like, "Hey, we're gonna do this life-saving surgery. We're just gonna take a little extra snip. We're just gonna."
No extra
I know,
snip.
I know,
No.
I know.
From whatever comes out, usually there is good living tissue in every amputation or every surgery. Because, like, if somebody, if the doctor's cutting out cancer, they have to cut out more because of the nature of cancer cells, right? So there is also always tissue that doesn't have cancer, doesn't have disease, right? If there's gangrene, they're also cutting off something that doesn't have gangrene in good tissue, right?
Sure.
So we can take from that. If you are taking something extra, that's a rights violation, right? So
I think that's a fair trade, life-saving surgery for using the cells. I don't see how that would be harmful. I just want to read it.
If I can, please, if
Sorry,
I can
go ahead.
finish. So in that case, right, the animal's best interest is not interacted at all. But I still think there should be a guardian who is thinking about an animal's best interest present for that specific thing.
I agree. Yeah, because they can't consent. See, it'd be easier if they can consent. If they can consent, we'd have no issues. But because they can't consent, that's the problem. Is like same thing with like mentally challenged people or children. You have to have somebody looking out for their best interest, and it's hard to make the best call. Like even parents, they put their kids in horrible situations, thinking that they're doing what's like best for them. So that's always going to be tough. I just want to read this comment because I actually think this is good. Leon Kutstra said, there is a simple solution to make lab meat ethical, though. Use consenting humans. I would actually consent to having a biopsy, like having a chunk of my skin taken to make human steaks. I'm cool with that, guys.
Me too. Yeah.
As long as it's not from my ass. I have to sit on my ass.
Not from your ass. Yeah.
No, you won't feel it.
Nobody's eating my ass anytime soon.
No, they can eat my ass, but it's gonna hurt on my ass if they take the biopsy on my ass. If they take it somewhere else, I don't mind. Still gonna hurt.
I think it can be painless.
What? Sorry?
It can be a painless biopsy, I think.
No, it can't. I'm sorry.
Patrick's getting into the business.
There's no such a thing as the painless biopsy. Biopsies always hurt afterwards. Unless they are on internal organs, then maybe it's all right. But you still have to take. It's a surgery. You have to take painkillers. You have to be under. It's all kinds of shit. It's all kind of risk. So this painless biopsy thing is a bit of a.
We should read into it a little bit.
Hold on. Patrick's going door to door. So Patrick's going door to door, be like, "Hey, he's like turning people around. He's like, how do you guys feel about like painless procedures? Like measuring their ass."
And by the way, if they need a biopsy of my fat, or can they take more than a biopsy, please? Can I just? I have a few extra places.
I'll be honest. It's interesting. Like if you could make human steaks from like liposuction or something, that would be really interesting.
Yeah, totally.
Hold on. Bianca T said, "I'm a fat vegan." That's funny. Yeah, it's
If I can say one last thing on this lab-grown meat situation. So I'm kind of constantly assessing what is going on because we are basically making a prediction that might not come up, right? Not come true with lab-grown meat. Mm-hmm. All kinds of things can happen. Lab meat can fail. It can not reduce suffering. I'm just kidding. Not reduce the number of animals being exploited. But the thing is, the way I see it right now, animal ag is really, really scared of cultivated meat, and they are actively working against it. So the way I see it, if animal ag is working against lab-grown meat, and some vegans are working against lab-grown meat, they're working with the animal ag, or at least for animal ag interests, is what I'm saying. So I think if just because we don't know what would happen with lab-grown meat, I think just taking a position that is opposite of animal farming I think it's a good guess, is all I'm saying. Was I clear? You look confused, both of you.
You just basically mean go against animal ag, because animal ag are against cultivated meat, right?
Yeah, and if I was a vegan who was going against lab-grown meat, I would think about that for like a second. Oh yeah, shit, I'm working for the interests of animal ag at this point.
That's the thing. It gets tough because, like, philosophically, I'm hard-lined, right? I want to be as hard-lined as possible. But when we're talking about, like, there's so many industries and legality, and there's like there's people who are actively like fighting. Like, a lot of this is legal. Like, lab-grown meats get banned. I heard, like, in Florida they banned it. So, like, it's hard sometimes, like, from a legal standpoint, when we're talking about legislation, you kind of have to vote for the lesser of two evils. Philosophically, I think the message should always be hardline, but if you don't vote at all, it's hard to know if you're going to expedite progress or hinder it,
Yeah. Like, the worst thing that can happen is that lab meat fails and nothing happens, nothing changes. That's the worst thing that can happen. Seriously.
The Real Thing made a funny comment. They said, the punching 5,000 people in the face to save one person thing. Would it save one person? Would you yourself survive after punching 5,000 people in the face? Yeah, I don't know. They might kill me after punching all of them. Or might break my hand or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in this hypothetical, for me, also depends the degree of injury that you're causing to the 5,000 people.
Patrick, you're taking it very seriously.
Patrick's like, back to the debate here. I just got to flesh a couple things out.
Like, if you're giving someone brain trauma, then yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't want to turn people into vegetables just to save one person, but a bruise or, like,
Oh, you can take out an eye. You can break the nose. That's shit.
Yeah,
That's
probably anything apart from, but I don't know. It's hard. Again, it's like a threshold thing. Like, at the end of the day, like, we're all making with all these nuances, we're all making the best call we can in the moment, right? So if, like, I'm gonna aim for something like over in this area to hopefully just knock them out and not break anything, but you don't know.
So the thing is, right, about we're all doing our best. We, as vegans who talk about philosophy and the logic and the formal logic and all that stuff, we are doing so much better than regular humans, right? Because most humans don't even consider a goddamn thing. There is zero thought going on into the daily lives, morally speaking, right? So
you have many spiritual people who claim to be enlightened.
Yeah. I'm talking to one on Twitter right now. I don't know how to dump that
karma. If Friendo says Brandon throws soy punches, they don't hurt. That's true. Yeah. That's I'm harmless, guys. So these punches are gonna feel like pillows.
You're how tall are you?
About 6'3".
6'3", okay.
Wow. How tall are you, Patrick?
1 inch smaller, than 6'2".
There we go.
I'm a foot and an inch smaller. I'm 5'1". That's
guys, we still have a lot of viewers. We got 25 viewers here. Thank you, everybody, for staying the whole time. What do we any questions, guys?
And by the way, subscribe, go to Patrick's channel. Please hit subscribe there. Watch his amazing debunks of dietary claims online. It's a really good practice to hear Patrick talk about epistemology. It's very nice.
Thank you.
Patrick's
recently I've gotten into TikTok for people.
You're crazy. That's fucked up. That's the most fucked up thing I've ever heard.
For those of you who want to see Patrick dance, go to his TikTok.
No, I'm not like that vegan teacher, but yeah. I learned a bit of salsa recently, though.
Ooh, that's awesome. And because Postmortem was so kind, everybody follow Postmortem as well, please. Vegan Postmortem. I linked the channel as well. So they are fantastic. We do live streams. It's almost been weekly now, so you could always tune in for that as well.
For the Postmortem channel, lots of very well thought out videos, high production values with great animations.
The
Not for a
animation is
while, not
awesome.
for a while.
That is really cool. Yeah.
Not for a while. It's easier now to edit videos because it is just my stupid face, but it's harder to make my stupid face not look as stupid. So I don't know. I'm not
Your face
making
is
it very...
fine post-mortem. We're nice
right.
to each other here, all right? None of
I
that
don't have to be
self-deprecation.
nice to myself. Come on. You're taking away my agency.
But you two should get onto TikTok and try and get
It's not happening, dude.
200 followers, so
It's not happening,
we can do
dude.
lives, because you have 200 people
No
just
fucking
waiting to debate.
No chance.
I
of
do
that.
see, because I know Hunter from Empty Cages or whatever, he does a lot of TikTok stuff. He said it's a great platform, and he gets a lot of people on there. I just can't, I hate it, man. Like I've been so resistant to it, but I know it's about the animals. I know it would be good. Like it might get more traction. I just don't want to do it.
Yeah, same stage. I get scared when I just go on there for like a second. Just terrible place.
Patrick, if you do a TikTok dance and post it, I will do it. I will join TikTok. But you've got to do you've got to try. You've got to like do a good one.
Potentially, I'll think about it. But I think the utility gain is definitely worth it.
Yeah,
getting you on there.
I'll probably just because I can't get stuck on there, man. Like I already get stuck on Instagram all the time. So if I do it, I've got to like delete it off my phone and then find a way to upload.
For sure.
And by the way, for
you
people
can
who
do it.
heard Patrick say utility and got scared that he's a utilitarian, oh my God, he's talking about the utility of an action. It's Jesus Christ, people. Seriously, that's what I'm thinking is happening. Or it's just words that scare people. He's not talking about animals. He's not talking about sentient beings. Utility of a thing, of an action can be described as a utility and not be utilitarian in nature. Jesus. I'm sorry. Is it obvious that I have something on my mind?
Thanks for being clear about it.
Sorry, I interrupted you again, and so
I was just going to say that some people are taking the punching hypothetical quite seriously. Leon Kuchtra, probably I'm pronouncing it wrong, said even without conditions, people often feel badly after being punched due to not being completely aware during the fall. So
yeah, something to consider. We're talking in a vacuum. If all of these problems, if when we're talking about hypotheticals, we can immediately mitigate them. So just do that work for us. Just mitigate it. Let's say Brandon punches a person and that person floats away into bed or something like that. If that's
it's like hypothetically just punching someone and creating a brief moment of pain, and that's it. No sort of elderly people falling down, or someone, Bianca, I think, mentioned elderly people. If you punch 5,000 boxers, they will all survive. If
no, I'm going only for elderly. I'm going to say,
and
they're like, yeah,
you
gotta punch 5,000 people. I'm like, okay, can you bring me only people over the age of 70, please? They're like, that's kind of, yeah, or under. No, I can't punch babies, dude. That's too much. That's just too much for me. Old people.
I'm sorry. Would that hurt your feelings, Brandon?
I think because old people. Look, I deal with old people all the time, like because of my job, and it's just like, look, I love when I meet an old person that like loves to progress themselves and like stay on top of things and like all of that. But when I meet somebody that's like, I don't want to get into the old person topic. I'm going to sound like an awful person, but I don't want to generalize. The point is, these are all hypotheticals, mostly jokes. Guys, this is purely for entertainment, guys. This is purely entertainment purposes.
And purely in a vacuum. However you want to mitigate that hypothetical, just do it. Let's just say it has zero damage. It's just a little bit of pain, and just do that. That's it.
And you can be in great shape, whatever the age.
And what else?
You can. I know what you're gonna say, but you can just do my catchphrase.
And any food can be part of a healthy diet, well-balanced diet, whatever you say. I don't know the full thing, but yes.
We haven't even talked about people's diets today, guys.
Thank God.
Of our duty.
No, this is good. I like the moral talk. This is good. just to point out, because somebody asked, Anna Christina Harris asked, I heard a tip sound earlier when I was catching up. Yes, there was a tip, just to remind everybody, from Veghead. Veghead tipped $4.99. Is that euros or pounds? I don't know the currency, but thank you again, Veghead, for the donation. I pinned a link, so if you feel inclined to donate, please do so. But that's the last time I'll talk about it, probably. Let me see. I'm just gonna see if there's any other chats here.
How old is an old person? Martin asks.
20
years older than you are.
Age is just a number.
Age is just a number, my friend. Yeah, I would say
somebody who's the oldest here. I'm gonna tell you, no, age is not just a number.
I'll say,
you
like,
deteriorate.
When I talk about an old person, I don't mean like generalizing. I mean somebody, like, I think of a number, but what I mean is there's two criteria. Somebody who has stopped learning, so somebody who has no desire to better themselves, to learn about things, to progress themselves, and also typically they're incredibly rude and or ignorant. So usually those two criteria. Now, you can have somebody who's in their 20s that acts like that, but generally I'm thinking like probably like 60 plus, somewhere there.
Yeah.
But just generalizing, I don't want to be I never want to be an old person. I want to act this way forever. So that's my goal.
Yeah.
I know Patrick's still going to be ripped AF at 75. I know that's what he's going for.
You never know. You never know.
I think Tone wants us to talk about poop some more.
Why? What did they say? Oh, at least this week it's not the poop show.
Yeah.
Oh, do you guys want us to bring the poop back? We bring the poop talk back if you like.
I love talking about poop. Holy shit, this is my favorite subject. So
yeah,
people should start eating it seriously.
I think so. You know how they have, for those of us who are in the US, there's a rule that you have to be over the age of 35 to be president. They got to have a cap at that at like 70. There should be a cap that, like, if you're over the age of 70, you can't be president. Because I agree, like, say what you want about, like, this is separate from policy, separate from Democrat, Republican. It's just, once you're over the age of 80, like, I feel like maybe if you're in a really good shape at 80, sure. But as like a general rule of thumb, I feel like there should be something preventing like Alzheimer's patients, or like people who are like really old, like over 80 is like old.
That's a strong claim there.
Which one?
Like preventing people over 80.
But
like, what would your response to be to someone who says we should not discriminate based on age or?
But we do that. We do that as a starting age, right? So like to be president, you have to be at least 35, right? That's not the age of adulthood. Adulthood's 18 in the U.S. or 21 maybe if you count drinking. So they say you have to be 35. Why? Maybe experience, maybe education, maybe who knows? I actually don't know why it's 35. So if they do a starting age of 35, why would you're going to let someone become president at 90 years old? Like, that's crazy. Like, I
think it should go both ways.
So you think an 18-year-old should be president?
Like, why not?
No, but here's the thing. I agree with you, but I actually
he would be chosen as a joke. He would be voted for as a joke.
I have a good reason why 80-year-olds shouldn't be president. And that's because I don't have any empirics on me. All right, Patrick, so take it easy there. But if I had to speculate, if you looked at the cognitive ability or like the rate of cognitive decline, the cognitive decline probably increases severely past like 70 or 75. So I'd probably say that, like, as a general rule of thumb, just to protect somebody from getting dementia midway into office, there should be some kind of age cap or something. I don't know.
Maybe there should just be some sort of cognition test that goes out to the public so the public can know. But yeah, I think it should be on a case-by-case basis, in my opinion.
Not good enough for me, buddy. I don't like those odds.
I mean, I guess you can generalize if you have the empirics, but Brandon, you don't have the empirics.
No, I don't have the empirics, guys. Okay,
Yeah.
I said it to start with. I don't have it.
Leon Kutstra says poop is an animal product with emoji. Anybody want to unpack that, or does it fall for me, or should we stop talking about poop? One of the three options.
Wait, somebody said I got a $50 note in the tips? No, what are you talking about? Hold on. Are you confusing, if you're watching it, are you confusing the Anthony Chafee tip?
Yeah, could have been.
Because that was somebody donated that to Anthony Chafee. That wasn't me. Hold on. No, hold on.
I scrolled up and I also didn't see new super chats.
Hold on.
So...
Well, I don't think it was a super chat. I think it was a one-time donation with the Streamlabs link. Hold on. Why did that not pop up? That's weird.
Yeah. Maybe it did, and we were in the middle of ranting about some shit.
Interesting.
Bianca says case-by-case basis will be sold with enough money. Again, I don't trust them.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like somebody did. It says some money, and somebody donated $50. I don't know if that was it during this stream. I don't know, but thank you, whoever did it. That's awesome.
That's a lot of votes.
That's a lot. I mean, we were just talking how shit. That's a lot. I'm taking my girl out for dinner tonight, I guess. Thank you, everybody. I don't know why they didn't pop up. That's annoying. Okay, interesting. But thank you, everybody. It's anonymous, I think. So whoever did it, thank you.
Martin Kevin says poop is sentient. I think we started something. I think we started a revolution with our poop talks.
Guys, people have to talk more about poop. It's important. I mean, carnivores are already doing it. Carnivores are talking nothing but poop. So we gotta catch up.
Well, sometimes they talk about their lipids.
Right.
And other absolutely fucking insane shit that happens. Maybe that's what we should do one day. Just react to carnivore cringe or carnivore clownery. That would be a hilarious stream. And then, of course, we're off into tangents as we do sometimes.
That'll be tough for me.
Why?
Just going through carnivore cringe.
Oh man, you're not a fan anymore, Patrick.
I think I've just I feel like veganism has moved past the carnivore movement or whatever it is, but I don't know if the public still find the carnivores convincing or not. But maybe because I've just been so exposed to it and being exposed to all the debunks. But what do you think? Do you feel like carnivores are still convincing to the general public?
It's hard to know because I'm so because I, especially all the carnivore stuff I post, it seems like most of the comments I get are from carnivore dieters. So it's hard. I feel like I'm biased. I feel like it's really strong, but it could just be my bias. I don't know. And I've also had more people come up to me while I'm doing activism and say they're on a carnivore diet. So I don't know.
I think I treat kind of the carnivore dietary thing. I kind of treat it as a potential gateway into veganism a little bit. I might be wrong on this. But with my new Instagram Harmsteader, I just go through all the people that follow Carnivore Cringe and I follow them. And a lot of them are not vegan. So I'm hoping some non-vegans are gonna be exposed to my content of local family farms talking like psychopaths about animals. So, and also it's incredible amount of fun. They are so stupid.
Yeah, that's honestly why I do it. It's just fun for me.
Yeah. But Patrick is dazed. He doesn't want to do the carnivore dieters anymore.
I feel like right now there's more sort of such as anti-vegan doctors and stuff like this.
Ooh, that could be interesting.
It
agree.
Requires a little bit more effort.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like sometimes I put like anti-vegan people and carnivore people together. So maybe it also feels like maybe I'm biased there because I'm mixing the two. Because not everyone who's anti-vegan is pro carnivore diet. A lot of them just eat, both. So it's hard.
Guys, if we're continuing, I need a little breaky break. So
I think maybe we can sort of wrap it up here.
I was
Yeah.
about to say the same thing. Yeah, we've been going
we've
for
gone-
over 2 hours. So thank you
and
everybody.
we have not been responding to the thing that was sent to us. I apologize to the person who sent it.
Was there an extra request that we got?
Yeah, we got a few, but
Ah,
Maybe for next time. I don't know, but that's sorry everybody. We got off on a huge tangent, but I hope it was enjoyable for you. I had fun. We had some laughs here. Patrick learned how to feel again. Postmortem did not call me a piece of shit once, so we are making progress.
Hey, I never called you a piece of shit. I don't feel you a piece of shit. I only call people who are actual pieces of shit.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you everybody. Thanks for joining. Thank you for the super chats and the tip. That was awesome. I wish it popped up. I'm kind of upset about that, but whatever. Maybe it was. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, anything you guys want to say?
I'll just add that the mystery of the boxes continues.
Oh, it's continuing. I'm gonna get more boxes too, just to mess with you guys. So.
And so the goal is 5K for, if someone didn't hear. Right, once you get to 5K, we open the boxes.
5K subs. You don't have to donate $5K. 5K subs.
Okay, yeah, I'll be clear. 5K.
So
subs,
yeah. Semantics. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know if that actually is what that means. All right, everybody. Thank you. Ending the stream. We will catch you guys on the next one. Oh, subscribe to Foolproof Mastery and Vegan Postmortem, please.
Thank you.
See you next time.
All right, I think we're done.